Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back with a video, and this video is going to be a little bit different from what I've been making previously. This video is going to be on transmission line theory, and I'm going to introduce you to a transmission line simulator that is available online, so you can work on it and see the result for yourself. I already made like a video derivation process of transmission line theory, introducing telegrapher's equation and then coming up with lossless transmission line, characteristics impedance, and lossy transmission line, and then reflection coefficient, VSWR, and things like that. So this video is sort of like is going to conclude everything in a form of a simulation. So you can go to this website. This website is a companion website for a book called Fundamental of Applied Electromagnetics. Once you go to this website, I will also leave a link there. Just simply go to modules. Once you go to modules, you will have different chapters. Of course, the transmission line simulator will be available on chapter number 2, which is called transmission lines. Simply go here and go to 2.4, which is actually a transmission line simulator, and just click, and you will have this simulation running in. So this is a very good simulation if you want to accompany this when you're solving problem related to transmission line. You can just simply plug in the values, it will give you the answer, and so you would know what to expect when you're solving these problems. So the basic idea is this: you have a generator here, you have a impedance of that generator that is being set by 100 plus J. So everything is going to be in real. You can change this to imaginary as well and see the result yourself. This is the output where you'll see the calculation. You have Z0, which is the characteristics impedance of your transmission line, which is 50 plus J0. You have your frequency, you have wavelength, you have a load impedance, everything is there. And all of these parameters can be set by this. So you have a characteristics impedance of a line, which is 50. You have frequency, which you can change. You have relative permittivity, then line length. So just simply change this. For example, if I want to change this to 100, just simply click update. So everything will be changed and you will see the value accordingly here. Same thing goes for your load impedance. You can change your load impedance to anything you want. So for example, if I want to introduce a term, imaginary term, so let's just do 50 here. Let's update this and you will get calculations according to that as well. So let me just leave this, or let's walk you through with 3 of the scenarios that are very common in transmission line. First is a match scenario where you have your impedance. Characteristic impedance is matched with your load impedance when you have an open circuit at the load and when you have a short circuit. And we will see the time domain graph for these as well. So the idea is quite simple. So I'm going to leave this as is because my Z0 is 100, it's in real. My ZL is 100, so let's just leave it real. So we will have, so the reflection coefficient definition that we know of, and I made a video on it where we drive this equation, is actually ZL minus Z0 divided by ZL plus Z0. So that's the definition. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to leave this all as is, and this is what you would expect. So you would expect your admittance to be 0.01, reflection coefficient to be 0, voltage would be 0.499, you have a current that is 0.005, power flow 1.25 milliwatt. Since it's a match scenario, you would expect to see an SWR of 1. You will also see incident voltage 0.5 times plus J0, and these are some of the parameters that you would expect to see. So since this is a match scenario, my Z0 is matched with my ZL. Let's go here and go to view plot time and just simply go to voltage because this is what we are interested in. And if you were to look at it, this is what is being incident at. So I'm just choosing this incident button. So this is what is being incident at, and this is nothing is reflecting back into my line. Why? Because my load is properly matched with my characteristics impedance. So we're looking at inside of a line. Nothing is being reflected back. Your total is whatever is going in. Everything is being absorbed by my load. So you can run this simulation as well. So you have continuously moving this. So you can turn off the envelope. You can turn off the trace and things like that. As you would expect, nothing is being reflected back, so everything is properly matched. And if you were to look at it, 500 millivolts is going in. So that's the idea behind this. You can do it for the current as well. And let me stop the simulation. And you'll see that nothing is reflected back in current as well. You can run the simulation if you want. Nothing is coming back. And let's just stop this. So these are a couple of things that you can play around with this. You can play around with the power as well, and so on. Now the next step that we are interested in is actually your phasor. So in this, we want to look at what is my reflection coefficient. If you were to expect a reflection coefficient, that is supposed to be 0 because nothing is reflecting back. And this is what we're supposed to see, because 100 minus 100 is 0, and 100 plus 100 is actually 200. So 0 over 200 would give you a reflection coefficient in real terms to be 0. And this is exactly what I'm saying. Having a perfect impedance, admittance is an opposite of your resistance. So it's actually going to be 1 over 100 would give you 10 millisiemens. So this is what we expect to see as well. One more thing that I forgot to tell you guys is this, that once you have your time plot, you can actually move it and see the length of this time plot as well, because this is important when you're designing your stubs and things like that. So you can also do that. Now let's go to your inputs, and let's change this to be something that is really, really big, which means let's try something like e to the 100, like an open circuit scenario where you have a very high impedance. So this is sort of like acting as an open circuit. So just simply go here and we'll do exactly the same thing that we would expect to see. Now if I were to look at my voltage graph, this is what you would expect to see, because you have, this is what is being incident at 500 millivolt, and this is reflecting back exactly the same amount as being reflected back. Now you have a total which is going to be an addition of both of these. So 500 millivolts per incident at, 500 millivolt is being reflected. So this is an incident voltage, 500 millivolt. This is what is being reflected in the same phase, because in open circuit you have a same phase. You have a reflection coefficient of 1. We will observe this as well. And this is the total that you would expect to see. So now when you run the simulation, you would see that it's bouncing back and forth, which means it's returning back within a higher amplitude into your transmission line. And this is what we will expect to see. Let me stop this and let me go to phasor definition. Now let's go to voltage reflection coefficient. And this is exactly what we are expect to see, because your reflection coefficient is supposed to be 1, positive 1. Because your impedance, open circuit impedance, is very high, and you would expect to see this to be close to 1. I don't know, somehow I was unable to find out in open circuit what value do I need to put in, but you can try different values, but you got the gist of it, that what you would expect to see. Same thing for admittance as well. So you're supposed to get 0 admittance. Now when you go and change this to short circuit, let's go to short circuit is going to be 0, and update this, and you would see a short circuit here. Now let's look at the time plot. Let's look at the phasor plot. And first of all, let's look at the admittance. Admittance is infinity. This is what you would expect to see, because 1 over 0 is supposed to give you infinity. This is what you are seeing. And let's look at your reflection coefficient. Reflection coefficient is supposed to be -1, because everything is turning back in and out of phase. So let's observe this. So it's supposed to be -1, and this is indeed you're seeing it, because minus means that every voltage is reflecting back with the same 180 degree out of phase, which means it's going to completely eat up your voltage. Nothing is going to be returning back. I mean, it's going to return back, but you will have a 180 degree out of phase. So let's look at the diagram of this in time domain. Let's look at our voltage. So you have nothing that is coming back. So incident voltage is about 500 millivolt, and reflected is going to be 180 degree out of phase. So this line is supposed to be down here now, And indeed it is, because it's just canceling each other out. And what is the total voltage? Nothing. It's barely, it's a little bit, but you're supposed to, theoretically you're supposed to get zero. So when you run the simulation, this is what you would expect to see, and this is what the reflection would look like. That is returning back out of phase, 180-degree out of phase, and this is what the incident voltage is at the end of this transmission line. You can slow the simulation if you want, and so on. So this is a very good transmission line simulator where you can go and work on different values. You can change different values here at the input and output and look at different scenarios. So now when you have an example, when you have a different load, you can just simply type in the values. You will get the corresponding response according to whatever your load is, and you can change this parameter however you want. So I hope you like this small tutorial on transmission line simulation. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.